sky painted in orange and gold. The Pride Lands were calm, yet something about the silence made Simba uneasy. The once proud king stood on Pride Rock, his eyes fixed on the horizon. The wind whispered through his mane, carrying memories of his past, of Mufasa, Scar, the battles, and the dreams that had led him here. Simba closed his eyes, letting the breeze wash over him. Somewhere deep inside, he felt a calling, a dream that wouldn't let him rest. That night, as the stars shimmered above, Simba drifted into sleep. But this was no ordinary slumber. In his dream, the sky turned to gold, and the great kings of the past appeared, glowing softly in the heavens. Mufasa's voice echoed, deep and powerful. "Simba, my son," it said, "you have upheld the circle of life with courage. But the world changes. The Pride Lands face a test that will not come from the outside, but from within." Simba looked around. "Father," he said, "what do you mean? We face drought, war, and enemies. What threat could come from within?" "The promise of tomorrow lies in the hearts of those you lead," Mufasa answered. "But if the fire of hope fades, the land itself will wither. You must awaken the dream of unity before it's too late." Simba's eyes widened as he saw visions. Pridelanders and Outlanders arguing again, shadows creeping through the grass. And even his daughter Kiara, looking torn between duty and heart. Through the dream faded with Mufasa's last words echoing, "Remember who you are, and who they must become." Simba woke with a gasp. The morning sun had just risen, and the Pride Lands looked peaceful, yet the feeling in his chest told him otherwise. He climbed down from Pride Rock and found Kiara and Kovu near the waterhole, playfully sparring. Their laughter filled the air, but Simba's gaze was serious. "Kiara, Kovu," he began, "I need to speak with you." The young lions exchanged glances. "Is everything all right, father?" Kiara asked. Simba hesitated, then sighed. "I had a dream about your grandfather. He warned me that darkness might rise again. Not from enemies, but from division among our own." Kovu frowned. "Division, bird. We've brought peace between the prides. Everyone's united now." Simba nodded slowly. "Yes, for now. But peace can fade if it's not nurtured." Mufasa spoke of a promise, the promise of tomorrow. "I think it's time we understand what that truly means." That day, Simba gathered the pride at Pride Rock. The lions of the Pride Lands and the former Outlanders all came together, sitting in a wide circle. Simba's voice carried through the air like thunder. 2 years ago, this land was torn apart by hatred, he said. But through love and courage, we restored balance. Yet peace is not a gift, it's a choice we make every day. The circle of life is only strong when we stand together. So, I ask all of you, what does the promise of tomorrow mean to you? There was silence. Then, Zazu stepped forward, clearing his feathers. "If I may, sire," he said, "perhaps the promise is that even in hardship, we remember to hope. Hope is what keeps the sun rising, after all." Timon and Pumbaa nodded in agreement. "Yeah, and maybe it's also about not letting fear control us," Timon added. "Because our fear stinks worse than a warthog bath." Pumbaa grinned proudly. "Hey, I resemble that remark," the pride chuckled, the tension easing slightly. But one young lioness spoke up. "King Simba," she said, "I've heard stories of Scar's time, how fear ruled the Pride Lands. Some say that fear never truly left." Simba turned toward her, his expression thoughtful. "Fear never leaves," he said. "But courage means facing it together. That's the lesson my father taught me. That's the dream he believed in." As the sun began to set, painting the sky in crimson and gold, Simba's mind wandered again to Mufasa's words. He looked at Kiara and Kovu, two lions who had bridged a divide once thought impossible. Perhaps they were the promise Mufasa spoke of. That night, Kiara couldn't sleep. She climbed to the edge of Pride Rock and looked at the stars. "Grandfather," she whispered, "what did you mean by the promise of tomorrow?" A soft breeze touched her fur, and a faint comforting rumble echoed from above. "The promise, my child," Mufasa's voice said, "is not in what is given, but what is built with love, with understanding, and with sacrifice." Down below, Kovu noticed Kiara's silhouette against the stars. He padded up beside her quietly. Couldn't sleep either. She smiled faintly. I was thinking about what Simba said. About unity, I wonder. Are we really ready to carry that promise forward? Kovu looked into her eyes. If we believe in it, then yes. The pride follows what we show them. If we live with love, they will too. The next morning, the peace of the Pride lands shattered. A herd of wildebeests stampeded across the plains, terrified. Something had scared them, something unseen. Simba and Kovu raced ahead to investigate. Deep in the tall grass, they found claw marks, huge, unfamiliar ones. This isn't from any animal I know, Simba said, lowering his head to inspect the ground. Just then, Rafiki appeared, his staff glowing faintly. Simba, he said with a knowing smile. Dreams are not only for the night. The land is speaking. It tests your heart, not your strength. Simba frowned. You mean this isn't about danger, it's about us? Rafiki nodded. The heart of the pride is restless. Doubt grows in the shadows. You must remind them. Remind yourself of the dream your father showed you, V. That evening, Simba stood before the entire pride once more. His mane shimmered in the moonlight, his voice deep and full of warmth. Today we saw fear again, he said, but fear cannot rule us. My father once told me that every king's time rises and falls like the sun, but what truly matters is what we pass on. The dream of unity. The belief that tomorrow can be better if we make it so. He paused, looking at Kiara, Kovu, and the pride. The promise of tomorrow isn't about what S written in the stars. It's about what we choose to do under them. Kiara stepped forward, her eyes shining. Then let tomorrow begin with us, she said softly. No more divisions. No more fear. Just love, and the courage to keep believing. A hush fell over the Pride lands as the moon reached its highest point. Then, somewhere far off, a lion roared strong, deep, full of hope. One by one, the others joined in. The roar echoed across the plains, through the valleys and rivers, into the night sky, where Mufasa's spirit smiled. Simba closed his eyes, his heart swelling with pride. The dream had not been about power or glory. It was about love, the kind that binds generations, the kind that makes tomorrow possible. As the dawn broke, Simba stood once more on Pride Rock, the light touching his mane like fire. Beside him, Kiara and Kovu stood proud, their gazes steady and full of promise. The circle of life continues, Simba said quietly. And so does the dream. Far away, the wind carried Mufasa's voice, faint but clear. Well done, my son. And for the first time in a long while, Simba smiled, not as a king, but as a dreamer who had finally understood his father's promise. The Pride lands glowed beneath the rising sun, alive with the songs of hope, unity, and the promise of tomorrow. The roar of destiny had turned into a whisper of peace, a melody that would echo through generations, reminding all who heard it that courage and love could shape the future. The Lion King's dream had become their reality. The promise of tomorrow had begun.